Preps player interviews by Sunil, Sunder. Today, I'm happy to be speaking for a second time in 2023 and to close out this year. AJ Brown, a sophomore at Carrollton High School in Carrollton, Georgia, and a starting goalkeeper on the varsity boys soccer team. Once again, AJ, great to be speaking with you, and just congratulations on an absolutely spectacular year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, let's talk about it. First, with the varsity, boys soccer team there at Carrollton High School, reached, said the first round of the 7A state playoffs. Uh, Now eight stars returning for this upcoming season. Uh, a lot to be proud about, in terms of your individual success, AJ, and the team as well.
Yes, sir. It was a really good season. We finished off in a sad way, losing the first round, but it was a big trip down to Savannah, 7 hour drive. It killed us, but I mean, we're still proud of our playoff spot. We did good. It was a good year.
Yeah, definitely. And as we talked about the first time around, I mean, your story is so inspirational, AJ. Just how you were able to, earn that starting nod on the varsity boys soccer team. What 110 high schoolers, is it trying out, competing against. You know, I asked you the first time around, put that number one jersey on, that Trojans jersey. I mean, what did it mean, said to wrap up your freshman year in such a dynamic, fashion?
It was great. It kind of felt unreal that all of it started to begin with, and the fact that it was over was a little sad. But
Yeah.
to have the number one starting spot the whole season, it was just a big. It felt really good to know that I could do that, and I
Yeah.
could like help the team throughout the season.
I know. And I had to ask you about that playoff game. What did it mean, to participate? I mean, it's an entirely different vibe. I mean, because it's win or go home. But just talk about being able to, participate in that. The team as well, coaching staff. A big moment for Carrollton High School.
It was a completely different vibe that day because it was a Friday. We left school at like 8 o'clock in the morning, rode the
Yeah.
bus all day. It was just a completely different vibe. The whole bus was ready. We were hyped up. We got to the field, we were in the locker room, and we were just all ready to go. Like, it was a great game. In the last, I think it was like 5 seconds, we were up one and they scored.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we went into overtime, and with maybe 3 minutes left, they put one top corner and they scored, and we lost. We were about to go to PKs. So it's a sad way to go home, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I mean, you can't ask for a better season. So, especially as a freshman.
Oh, I agree. And just to be able to get that experience under your belt, heading into, as I said, your sophomore year, I think that's really, you can't put a price tag on it. It's so valuable, said, to build up. And it said, with those eight starters returning, incoming, freshman class, I think you really see, you know, again, you change, turning that corner and being able to, rise above and move up that ladder. Just talk about how critical that is, for the team heading into this upcoming season here, AJ.
That's a really big thing, especially having all like eight starters come back. We're gonna have
Yeah.
the chemistry. We have the knowledge of what happened last season. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
big thing, and like even the new people that are coming in, the upcoming freshmen and all that, it'll be really good to have the chemistry to like help them get involved with the team and let them know what we need to do. So
Yeah.
it'll be a lot easier than if we lost more starters. So we can actually have the chemistry and be ready to have our upcoming season.
Yeah. No doubt about it. As you know, it's 24/7, 365. I mean, just like any other sport, you're gonna have to, like, put in the time. But I'd ask you about the coaching staff, what they meant to you in terms of your overall development here in your freshman year at Carrollton High School.
Oh, it meant so much. The head coach, Scott New, he's a great
Hmm.
guy. It means so much. He helps a lot at practice. He's really big on having discipline, maturity, and then not to mention overall soccer skill. And
Yeah.
then my goalkeeper coach, Christian Martinez, he's a returning player from Carrollton. He played a few years back, and he's come back to help with the goalkeepers. He does a really good job. We've been doing training sessions over the summer. He's been doing a real good job. And then Sheldon McClendon, he comes back. He helps with Georgia Storm a lot, one of the club teams nearby. And he does
Hmm.
a really good job. He's an assistant coach. He does a lot for our team. He helps run sessions. He does a lot of good stuff for us.
Yeah, it's wonderful to hear. Again, to have that overall structure, in place and have the, experience in terms of that coaching staff. Hey, just some of the accolades, nominated, selected, I think, for all regions, second team in Division Two, 7A, and then named Scorebook Live Athlete of the Week. Just to rattle a couple of those accolades off. I mean, personally, AJ, what did that mean to you to see all your hard work, on and off the field really pay off, as said, with those accomplishments?
It meant a lot. It felt really good to see that other people were seeing the work I was putting in. It just felt really good that all the work that I had over the past year really come into play and show that
Yeah.
it really meant something.
Yeah, it definitely came to fruition. Selected to play in the Georgia Athletic Coaches Association All Star game, All State honorable mention. You made a big save in that game. I had to ask you what that meant. You have to play in an All Star game with, I said obviously other talented, players across the state of Georgia. What just describe that overall, experience?
That was great to go. I knew some of the guys that were there, and I'd played against them before, so it was really cool to
Mhm.
see them all there in one place, ready to play like as all stars. And being one of the only freshmen there, it was nerve wracking, but in a good way to see like I can go in and compete with the best that there are.
Yeah, no, definitely. When we last spoke, the first time around, I know that in terms of being a goalkeeper, locked in, focused, for the task at hand. And I remember recalling that even if you give up a goal, you really have to put that, it said out of your mind, in the memory bank and just move on. Just describe that process because I think that's so critical for especially for a goalkeeper.
It is. It's one hard thing to learn. It's probably one of the hardest things I had to learn is
Mhm.
just no matter what happens, you can't like drop your head or lose like that momentum
Yeah.
because that's when the other team can put in three more goals in the next 3 minutes. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to just like stay locked in and stay ready because you
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen. Soccer's such a quick game. The whole game can change in a matter of seconds. So
Yeah.
it's really just you got to stay like locked in and ready because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. In a lightning moment, it can really like, I said, just change, I said for the better or for the worse. Hey, also I know you've been attending camps at several different colleges: Berry College, University of South Carolina, Oglethorpe University, Milligan University, and Spring Hill College. I mean, again, just to keep your skills fresh, build up, increase the fundamentals. Talk about it. I mean, to be able to, on campus, at these, some of the best colleges there are. I mean, I'm sure that's something that you really do, you cherish, this past summer here.
Yeah, it's been really nice not only to get in contact with the coaches and be on their radar, but also just to
Hmm.
like make sure I'm sharp and ready for the upcoming season. It's good to go out there and even if you don't play your best, you're getting better.
Yeah.
It's always good to like keep practicing, keep getting those mechanics right, and then also you're on the college's radar now, so they know who you are. If they want you back, they can contact you because that's one
Hmm.
hard thing as a sophomore and freshman. They can't contact you until the summer going into your junior year,
Yeah.
unless they're NAIA. So that's really your only chance to go in and talk to some of these coaches and get on their radars by going to some of
Yeah.
these camps and like visiting the campus.
Yeah, I agree. And a good way, to prove, that you could you handle the pressure and be able to, again, compete. I think that's really, again, essential. And hey, for club season, SSA team, came first in the annual Birmingham Bash tournament. Talk about playing for your club team as well here.
That was good. It was my first year with that new club team, so to go into
Hmm.
that tournament and win, it was really nice to be able to go in and compete against other teams in Alabama. But
Yeah.
we had a pretty good season. It was great to like meet all these new guys and play with them, and we all connected
Yeah.
really well. So it was an overall good season with Alabama FC.
Yeah, that's terrific. And you also participate. I saw that in a combine as well. I think it was the AFC ECNL pre-tryout combine. Just talk about that as well, AJ.
That was good too. We had multiple fields set up, and the coaches would stand in the middle. And by
Hmm.
the end, I had a bunch of coaches watching me, and I got some emails after that they wanted me, and that was really good to see that my work from high school season could transfer over into club 'cause, like, it was a weird feeling going from high school to a new club team, 'cause I
Yeah.
was playing with my friends, I knew all them, and then I knew nobody. So it was
Mhm.
really nice to see that that work could be put in into another team also.
Hey, you know about the transition all too well, going
I
from, is
do.
it transferring, from one school to another, going from middle school to high school. I mean, you've been able to handle it absolutely flawlessly. I'm wondering, where that, really comes from, because it's not easy for a young kid to handle that, to deal with, the pressure. And it can be very stressful. And I'm just wondering, like, for you personally, you've been able to excel at that. Describe that, AJ.
It was at first. For the first part of soccer season, it was a weird change because I didn't know the guys. It was
Mm,
hard getting their trust to, like, put me in the back of the net to so I could be
yeah.
back there and they trust me in the game. But,
Yeah.
after a few games, they saw what I could do and they trust me. So, it wasn't that hard of a transition once they trusted me,
Yeah.
but until I gained the respect of the team, it was a little weird, but
Yeah.
overall, it's been really good.
Yeah, that's great. Great to hear. As I mentioned before, it's year round now, and I'm just wondering for you, like, just in terms of that strength and conditioning, that nutrition, and we all talk about describe physical, said component of athletics, but the mental part as well. Just being able to stay in that groove, in that rhythm, it's just not an easy task to do, but again, you've been able to meet the expectations. What is it, that just in terms of that blueprint and just sticking with it, AJ?
It has to be more of a lifestyle than a hobby. It's just
Yeah.
you gotta constantly stay in the gym, stay active so you don't drop in conditioning, you don't drop in muscle. Like, it's hard, but I mean,
Hmm.
just eat right, don't do dumb things. That's one thing I like to say. Don't do dumb things to ruin it.
Yeah.
But it's just more of a lifestyle. You just gotta stay with it, stay
Yeah.
active, stay in the gym, keep a ball on your foot. It's just once you start doing it, it's easier to keep going. But
Yeah.
the hardest part is getting in that rhythm.
That's true. I think it's just repetition and just, again, I can truly see that you're even keel about it. You really don't allow things to get above you or phase you. And that again, that is so commendable. Hey, I wanted to point this out that, and I thought this was, really paying it forward. You helped out with a youth soccer camp, with the Trinity College men's soccer team. I'm sure that's something you really, enjoyed, as said, thoroughly. Talk about that, helping out, as said, with young kids, teaching them the ropes here.
It is. I love going out and helping with the younger kids, showing them what to do and what not to do, especially when it comes to goalkeeping, because it's so critical to, like, have the right mechanics and the right form on
Hmm.
stuff. So not only do you not hurt
Yeah.
yourself, but also you don't get scored on.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to go out there and help the little kids that are like, they're going to be the future of the sport. So it's always fun to
Yeah.
show them how to do it and make them love the sport, not feel like a
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
That's one important thing to me is to love the sport and like to want to go out and play, not just to go out because you have to.
Yeah. Excellent point you made, because uh we it better than anybody how competitive, athletics is, soccer per se, and so many people striving, to be in that same spot. And I think you're right, because if we truly don't enjoy it, and it again, it doesn't become fun anymore, and, like, yeah, I guess you lose track and focus of it. Hey, you become, it said, a star. You've been on some photo shoots here. Children's sports. I know there's a photographer out there. I think it's Brian Carmichael. Some, I'm just absolutely amazing photos out there, action shots. Talk about that's exciting.
That is exciting. We had a big commercial at our school for for some it was a turf company, and they
Okay,
came
yeah,
out and we had this big commercial shoot, and that felt really cool to be able to be a part of that
yeah,
with the team.
yeah,
The being goal in the background of a commercial, that was really cool. And then to go out and do these
yeah,
photo shoots with Carmichael,
yeah.
that's a big thing because Carrollton's so, like, tight knit when it comes to athletics. He knows all
Hmm.
the athletes, so it's really nice to be able to go out there and get pictures from him because he does a great job.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Hey, and I know another thrilling moment for you, and I saw this. I think you met Jay Demerit, former United States men's national team player. Talk about that, just that interaction, and I'm sure being able to, talk with Jay and just, pick his brain just in terms of the sport, and then, playing, what are the, highest honors playing for the United States men's national team.
Yeah, that was amazing. It was at Camp Shutout in Wisconsin. He came for a day
Yeah.
as a special guest speaker, and he talked to the whole camp, letting them know like
Yeah.
his story and how hard it's been, but how rewarding it's been. And afterwards, he came up and took pictures and asked questions and stuff like that. So that was really neat to be able to talk to him and hear his story and how it's affected him, like his highs and lows and all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff. That was really nice to hear that even like the best players in the world have their downs because like
Yeah.
you can't always have a perfect career.
That's true. I think, to be upfront and honest and not shy away from that. I think, because everybody sees on the facade, on the outside, what players are experiencing, but they don't see behind the scenes. And, in those moments when, said they're alone. Hey, I think this is definitely the biggest, said moment for you. Highlight, moment is that November 14th, you signed an NIL deal with Fire Sports. Talk about that. How significant that is for you. And,
Right.
again, as a sophomore, being able to hook up with them, and, I'm sure, again, a game changer for you here, AJ.
Right. That was a big thing. It's the goalkeeper gloves, and they have like grip
Okay.
socks, all sorts of stuff that I love to use. They were my favorite
Yeah.
company to begin with. So we reached out to them. They're a local company in Cedartown, Georgia. They're local. We like to use their stuff. So I reached out and asked if they'd be willing to do something like that, and they were all in. So I take photos with them, post on Instagram and Twitter, like get their stuff out there, and I get free gear whenever I need it. And I can just talk to them because their owner Roy, he's a really good guy.
Hmm.
I recommend their stuff always to everyone who asks, but they're a really great company. They're local. They have really high quality stuff. So it's been really good to partner with them. And I go to some of their like they have little 5v5 tournaments I go out and support. They have all sorts of good little things. They're really good for the community and I really have enjoyed working with them.
Yeah, it's outstanding to hear the fact that you can utilize that merchandise and then be able to promote not only their company, their brand, but yourself as well. And I know we talked about how important it is with social media. Formerly known as Twitter, Instagram. I mean, there's so many sites out there where you could really capitalize on that. Talk about again how important that is, how vital that is for you, AJ.
That's a really important thing because a lot of coaches that's what they use to get out there and see kids. Like
Yeah.
it's a really big and important thing that a lot of coaches and schools use to reach out and figure out who these players are that might not get that exposure by
Hmm.
themselves. So I
Yeah.
think it's really important to post and even like if you don't do it constantly, just to get your name out there, just so people will see you.
Yeah. I'm wondering how much of an adrenaline rush that is for you. I mean, of course you're playing the games, but then to see yourself on those highlight videos, and I'm sure that's something you really take stock of. And you definitely get a kick out of me. Just like so I mean, to see again those highlight reel moments, and just the fact that coming up in the clutch situations. Talk about that, AJ.
It's crazy. It's always fun to see highlights and game film time with like the high
Yeah,
school team. It's fun to look
yeah,
back and see all the game film. But
yeah,
it always it feels unreal because I mean in the moment you don't realize what you did, so it's always fun to go back and see what all you've done.
yeah.
That's just one big thing is going back and looking to see all your accomplishments. That's it's really fun to look through.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, it's just not being an athlete; it's being a student athlete. Again, you've been able to flourish in the classroom. Just remarkable, maintaining a 4.0 GPA, taking honors AP classes. And so you're finishing up your, close with the STEM pathway, program. Inducted into the Beta Club and National Honor Society. I mean, just magnificent, I said, honors and just accomplishments. What does that mean to you personally? Because, you know, it's not easy, balancing it out. We talked about it before, time management, organization, again, is so critical. What is that? I mean, just in terms of you've been able to find that, I said balance, but what has that meant to you, just personally here?
It can be tough, but it's so rewarding to see that you can like have
Yeah.
achievements in the classroom and on the field because soccer can't really be a forever thing because you got to go to college. You have to have all these.
Yes.
You have to get, especially with soccer, it's really hard to get a full ride on athletics. So
Hmm.
you got to have all these things in the classroom so you can get academic scholarships and save money when it comes to going to college. So I mean, it can be hard to time manage and have all these things and not procrastinate. But
Yeah.
if you just really work hard and like try and stay focused on school, it's so much more rewarding in the end to have
Yeah.
not only good athletics but good academics because you can not only can you save more money, but it's just more rewarding.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you hit it right on the money, and the fact that I think you found the perfect niche here. In terms of technology, agriculture, education, engineering, all fields that are in demand, and the fact that as a sophomore you're already preparing yourself for down the road with college. I think again is just amazing. It's just again a testament to the hard work that you put in. Hey, we talked about you've been playing soccer for a long time. You go way back to when you were 5 for the Bremen, City Rec Department, at 10, joining your first club team from a small Carroll County-based club team called the Carroll County Fusion. When you look at your journey and where you started out from, and you see here you're still, again, a sophomore in high school. What filters through your mind here, AJ?
It's crazy. I could have never imagined how far I could have come because Bremen's not a big soccer city. Like that's not a
Yeah,
real big thing here. So I
yeah,
played in the rec league with maybe the same 20 kids for maybe 6 years.
yeah,
And then to go up to club and just keep climbing the ladder of skill level, it's been a crazy journey. But now I look back, it's crazy to think that I made it this far and that I can still go farther. Because like I
yeah,
come from a place where soccer, it's all football, baseball, basketball. It's not really a soccer place.
yeah,
So especially moving to Carrollton and having all these kids that want to play soccer too, it's been a lot of help growing and knowing that I can do that.
yeah. It's cool to hear, and you know, I know you asked about we talked about it before we came on the air about the game of soccer, gaining in popularity, and I'm it's something you really have that drive and passion for. I can see it in your face and just how much you smile about it. To be a part of this movement, and you see that social media component there as well. Um, I mean, this is just like you're like really in the thick of it. I mean, and then the Olympics, you got World Cup out there. I mean, so many events, and then of course these tournaments, across the country. So whether it's club or high school, um, that's just. I mean, to be with your friends playing as well. I'm sure that's something you really, are. These are some of the best moments. They're so memorable for you, AJ.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's always fun, especially when the World Cup happened last year. We would all set
Mhm.
up phones in class and watch it together. We would get in trouble a good bit for cheering whenever our team scored, but it's always good to be with your friends and just like
Yeah.
share the same interests, and especially with soccer, always like cheering with and against each other when it comes to these
Yeah.
big games. So it's making good memories. So it's always good to have.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, I know that you have again a phenomenal family support system. Your parents, your mom and dad, your brother. You have a little brother. Live in Bremen, Georgia. Both your parents are teachers. Your dad is a coach. I'm sure that this is special. I mean, this is gold for to be able to share this with your parents and to have some common threads and to really rely on them in terms of when you need that advice and that knowledge. Talk about that, DJ.
It is. It's been great to always be able to like go back to them if I need help with anything, especially having a dad that's a coach. It's always great to be able to go back and
Yeah.
base like I can base a lot of my stuff off of his game plans and go back and see what he has. So if I need help with anything, he's always right there willing to help. And my mom's always been
Yeah.
supportive of me no matter what I do.
Yeah.
So
That,
it's always great to have both of them there whenever I need them.
that's great. That's super. Yeah, I know that talked about last time about hobbies are important to you, just in terms of spending time with your friends, playing video games. But I think this is where I think I have the utmost respect for you is that really participate in the community in your church. I know faith is, really is something that you also bank on as well. Talk about how that really has shaped you and just like, really aided you just in terms of handling, said both the academic and athletic, pieces.
That's always helped me. One funny thing, the youth I go to, my youth group, the
Hmm.
main leader is my middle school coach. So
Yeah.
that's always cool.
Yeah.
I can connect with him really well. And
Yeah.
every time I go, it's just a stress reliever, get everything off my mind for a little bit, hang out with my
Hmm.
friends and just really, really be kind of away from all the stress. So that's always one
Yeah.
good thing. I always like doing that. And just being involved in my faith. Like I go to FCA every Friday at school. It's just a different community that you can be a part of, and it's
Yeah.
always nice. It's a good stress reliever. Just forget everything and have fun for a little while.
Yeah, it's beautiful to hear. Hey, AJ, before you get the final word of message, which is well deserved again, and I asked you the first time around when we spoke, it said 8 months ago or so. Uh, you're a perfect role model, said for those younger kids and athletes out there because you were once, said that little kid. I'm wondering, you know, again, we live in such a competitive world, and country as well when it comes to athletics. They were watching this, this second interview. What would you say to them? Because, heading here into 2024, like in terms of, moving up that ladder and, trying to achieve in athletics and, really what it's going to take because obviously, you have that down to pat science and you have that blueprint. What would you say to them?
I would just say don't give up and love the game you play. Sixth and seventh grade, I didn't play a single game for my middle school team. Eighth grade year, I played half the season. And ninth grade year, I started varsity. So like no
Mhm.
matter where you are in your journey, it can always get better. So like always love what you do. Go out to practice, show up, do what you can do, and it'll always come out. It'll come out. You'll come out on top no matter what. You just gotta love the sport, love what you do, and stay committed to it.
Yeah, spot on. Sound advice, for those kids. I'm sure that they can adhere to, again, what you've been able to again achieve. All right, you get the final word of message here, AJ, for family, friends, teammates, and coaches. Carrollton High School varsity boys soccer team, SSA club team, the communities of Carrollton and Bremen, Georgia. The floor is yours. I know that there are a lot of people. Said again, you want to thank here, AJ.
It's just I want to thank everyone that's got me here so far. All the coaches, family that's put in time, money, effort just to help me get here. It's been a crazy journey, but it's just starting. So it's gonna be fun.
Sounds good. Once again, a true honor and privilege being able to speak with you for a second time. I think we're going to go for a trilogy next year, and I'm looking forward to that. But again, congratulations on an absolutely tremendous 2023 year, and wishing you continued success at Carrollton High School, and then with your club team as well, AJ.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.